Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and whoever might be watching this video for today. This is my sort of audition, I would say, towards doing a practice cast, I'd say, of a mythic Sylvanas Windrunner kill. This is I'm gonna have two different videos come out, so both of which are going to be listed on the YouTube channel as unlisted. This will be the longest of the two, as this is not my guild doing a prog, but this is of a guild doing a prog, but I also know a couple of the people from this guild as well. So this is going to be, because I had initially spoken that it's much harder to sort of capture the emotions that people go through when trying to progress a kill versus just watching a farm kill. So I wanted to send both, so that way both can be interpreted accurately, as a guild trying to progress through the kill is both more entertaining to watch, as well as more you could see and feel the feelings in players throughout their performance, and so on from that. And the reason I also picked a healing class for this is that I felt that in this current expansion, out of all the things that have the highest amount of stress when it comes to raiding, it is still going to be the healing class within all the World of Warcraft raids. Sire Denathrius was very healing intensive, but it was also very intensive on the factor that people had mechanics to dodge, and vice versa. This one, however, it is still another scenario that Lady Sylvanas from Windrunner definitely has a lot of dodge mechanics that you need to end up doing, and in this scenario, and in this guild's attempt as well, you could see that even some were missed, some were still whiffed at the end. A lot of wailing arrows were still targeted in the right locations, and so on and so forth. Overall, the guild did an extremely well and amazing job throughout this progress. So I hope you enjoy my commentation of them attempting the Prog Kill on Sylvanas, and within the description of this video, I will put the time frame at which the kill actually happens, if you want to skip directly to that. So, but overall, the fight was overall pretty straightforward for these guys. It seemed that they progged this for 318 pulls. This is number 315, I believe. And overall, it seemed like these guys were doing extremely well. There was only one person in the group that was not part of the guild, but looked like he was pugged with a close friend. So I'm going to bring up the audio just a little bit here, so that way we can hear exactly what's going on in the overall chat. Something that I would actually have on a separate audio link, like right here. This is a practically undodgeable location, but everything is layered in a different time frame. So it was still dodgeable in some ways, but you could see that they ended up using mostly immunities for that overall engagement. And that's one of the very rare spawns that happen. But it looks like instead of baiting left, right, center, they ended up baiting left, right, mid, and they've already gone into phase 2 of the scenario. Now they're just playing the dodge of the rive game, where all these domination arrows are in the right spots. You see people popping defenses left, right, and center. You see that there's a couple people still on chains, but overall it looks like they're just popping all the maximum defensive capabilities they could really get out going here, and obviously with that extra little bit of commentary as well. But I imagine, even in Heroic, you become a little bit more pro at dodging all these rives. You can kind of see the very predicted areas and the layering in the sense of the rive projectiles. So, very good overall in this scenario. They ended up dodging pretty much every single one. I don't think anybody died. According to the minimap, it's also the same scenario. Nobody died in that sense as well. So, a very seamless stage 2 push.
Okay, so instantly that for energy. I do that, I top people off. I gate. I orb. Okay, this is gonna be my Ashen here on this. I'm gonna instantly start running out. Okay, run.
So now the splits are going to happen here. We're going to see that our Holy Paladin is going to be on the left side here. And we also want to keep an attention on how much damage that the raid is going to end up taking from these unnecessary waves. You could already see several different players, looks like on the side of the right, managed to end up getting clipped a little bit by these waves, which is unfortunate. And also the Maw-Forged Goliath seems to be getting tanked directly by the H-Pal here. And that's what happens when you drop Ash on the first platform. It's very hard to keep aggro against it, especially if your tanks might be a little bit inexperienced. But It's the same scenario that I'm 100% certain these guys have pulled this almost a million times before and have dealt with it a million times before. Luckily, we didn't see any big defensive being used here, but they did manage to get down the Goliath very quickly, which is very good, because in Mythic, this Goliath is very important to go down because it is a Mythic-specific drop, and that is something that you really want to keep your attention on here. Obviously, the other big scary thing is the fact that in Mythic, you have to split up your raid. You have to send 10 to 10, or depending on your DPS, either 8 to 12 or 9 to 11. 9 to 11 is usually a little bit on the sense if you're running a high damage, if you're running a high damaged Prot class, one of which being a Venthyr Paladin. Venthyr Paladin Prot can usually put out a decent amount of damage, but usually the Ash is still on cooldown as they use it for an opening offensive with the opening hero that you saw at the very beginning of this match. Or at the very beginning of this poll. Looks like everyone's just taking their shadow tick damage. Their spreads are going to follow suit. Looks like Group 2 is already priming to get ready for the run across, while Group 1 is hanging out in the back, dealing with the remainder of the wave here. I do want to bring to attention that usually in this group, and usually in this raid, you want to run 2 to even possibly 3 Doomkins, or Boomkins, whichever way you want to call them. They're running 1 Boomkin here, and their top deeps is actually going to be a Demon Hunter, so I believe this was also a kill that occurred when the AoE cap was removed. So this might also be reminiscent of the AoE cap removal. And you can see a little bit of the progress being made here because of this AoE cap removal. If a Demon Hunter is able to keep up with what looks to be a fairly geared Boomkin, it looks pretty good for anybody still trying to end up getting the kill during the remainder of the tier. It looks like the waves are going out. That's another thing you have to keep in mind in Mythic. It is definitely a lot faster, as almost everything in this game became a lot faster coming into the Mythic. For example, Soul Forges. Woo! Or Soul Forge, pardon. Not Soul Forges. And not Soul Forge either.
Yeah, I'm a big
Painsmith.
I'm alpha
All the Painsmith projectiles was increased by like 50% speed overall. Like, this is a really solid pull as well. Like, they're putting in good healing, but this is another scenario where you see people getting hit by these waves, and they're taking a lot of unnecessary damage. The Demon Hunter, I believe, they dropped Darkness, he dropped Fade. That kept him alive. Looks like the... I can't really say the... I can't really say the name of the Doomkin here because it's literally shit. And he ended up popping Iron Bark, so that held him over for a good time as well. A lot of personal resistances being used for these wave damages if you can avoid it. Looks like a beacon out on Korra on top of this one. He ended up getting hit by 2 waves there. Finsk as well, taking a bit of wave damage. He is getting quite a bit low, but that's all it takes. It's just hitting him with the beacon shot, and he's good to go with the Holy Power heal. And it looks like just killing off some remaining guards out in the back lines as they are already near this end of the phase. And they're right back into phase number 3. 76%. Everybody alive and looks like fairly good mana overall.
Absolute banger! Absolute banger. I instantly saw Aura.
So they don't have another hero for another 2 minutes here. They will go ahead and drop their their speed totem here just to make sure that their opposing paladin or opposing prot class is going to end up grabbing the rest of these walls. They'll take it to the corner here. Ooh, quite unfortunate that the orb grabber was also somebody targeted by the heal soak here. So that's going to be a little bit unfortunate. They need to split this up, and it looks like they did a pretty good job splitting it up evenly amongst everybody else. Korra, however, did actually manage to go down there, and again, that's purely because he managed to get the most unlucky RNG strike total, meaning he was the one who picked up all of the soup off the ground, and then he also got hit by the heal prevention. So a little bit hard for him to end up getting an escape from that one, and we'll just have to soak the damage there and take the first res. But that's actually what's going to happen there. And Minchi, the other prot class being sent over to the other side, only barely living by the skin of his teeth over on the other platform from the Wailing Arrow target. But now you can see all the damage is coming in here. They're doing a pretty good job managing to sustain it, especially since they ended up dropping a Devo for it to try to keep everybody else alive. Korra is still putting really low on this HP bar here, but he is sitting with 4 stacks of a soup, and Ooh, looks like a bad stack again of this heal prevention, but they do manage to get it purged off almost immediately on Varus as he ends up popping his Ascension, so he's going to be able to get reduced damage from that one. Korra's still sitting at 7 stacks now of the soup. He's trying to find a good spot for the corner, and he's going to line it up, as you can see in the corner now, will be dispelled, and then move on from there. 68%. Everybody's still alive and 1 battle res used, and the hero up in 3 seconds. Likely, this is going to be used directly after this platform here. Looks like full cooldowns are still available as well. Both tanks, unfortunately, do have stacks. The knives are going to be tossed. Everybody sits in their good spots here. There's very good spacing in between everybody. You could tell that this is a stack that's definitely pulled this before. Soaks are out there on the sides. They will get 1, but it looks like 1 was missed. Korra, yet again, he's playing with fire. He's sitting at 9 stacks of the Dispel, and shame as well. He will end up going down onto the other platform here, dropping off the stacks to the far platform. Actually, it looks like he jumped off the edge to the 3rd platform here. But he is actually going to get back up. It looks like he onked himself, actually. But Korra sitting at 10 stacks. He's waiting for that Dispel. He's going to get hit with the Dispel at the last second. Kree still with a heal debuff, and Great actually still with one of the dark, one of the soups on him. They will Dispel him just in time, but because of the spot that, yeah, that was a very hard one to do. Because of this time and the place that they Dispelled him, that 1 stack managed to get back on him very quickly there, and will end up costing a bit of bodies on that one. Dagger's going through as well. Aneath sitting at 7 stacks. They're waiting for the opportune spot to do the Dispel, stacking very poorly here out of everybody, but still managed to get a good clean. Now both tanks sitting at max stacks, and arrows going out on Aneath, and Aneath had 7 stacks. He has to be Dispelled almost immediately if he plans to survive. He will get Dispelled, and Korra's next on that Dispel line. He's going to go ahead and pop his, he's going to pop Anti-Magic Shield, not AMZ, but now all the palette, everybody is getting very low here. Vamok trying to keep himself alive, but here comes another set of the pools. They will have just too many people going down here off these pool drops as well. You've got Charlie sitting on 1 spot. You've got Korra sitting on 3. Actually, you got him sitting on 13. Both of your tanks are playing very hard to get, and Korra once again will fall, and I think that spells this pull. They're going to try their best to keep on pushing here, but it looks like with no battle reses remaining, or at least none visible, you see them going out to try to get these soaks, but 1 was missed, and that will cause the wipe for this one. So those soaks are very important to get. That soak is a very mythic-only mechanic that actually isn't shown quite too often in the fact of a raid wipe. But there are the scenarios that if you just go out there and there's nothing there for you, it's those meteors will basically kill it. I guess the way to envision it is kind of just going back to a little bit of Sludge Fist kill. I'd say Sludge Fist had a very reminiscent sort of feeling, I'd say, towards this same pole type. No, actually, that wasn't that. It was Stone Legion Generals. And Stone Legion Generals had a very soak big mechanic like this before, but it wasn't a super raid wipe mechanic, but the soak was very important, I remember, in Stone Legion General, because if you ended up letting the meteor go off on one specific person, it would immediately kill you. The same thing with the Kel'Thuzad fight. If you ended up having nobody in the Ice Blast during the soak, the Ice Blast target would just die, unless they immuned it. In this scenario, I do not believe you're able to use an immune on these global wipe cooldowns in a sense, because it is a flat overall damage that gets applied, meaning you would take the 86,000 damage initially cast upon the whole entire raid, but at the same time wouldn't be following suit from that anyway.
Yeah, okay. Just still ask for
so they will wipe from this one. That will give them a little bit of a reset timer on this one, but I mean they're primed and ready to get this kill on Sylvanas. They came in here ready to go, and they want to make sure that they end up getting this kill as soon as humanly possible, because nobody wants to be pulling Sylvanas now for the 316th pull of their whole entire season. Not to mention, you know, the more kills you get now, the more kills you can get later, and the more mounts you could sell come later down the line, assuming you're one of those guilds that will end up selling it like so when you get down to that later point in the tier. Of course, in 9-2, there's going to be plenty of people trying to do the exact same thing as well, trying to sell it then and there. Looks like he's actually running... Is he running a Shadow Core Oil? What was he running there? He is running Shadow Core Oil.
Let's go.
I don't think that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I have seen people run the other oils, but I think it's because, like, Paladin, Venthyr Paladin in specific, just outputs so much damage while being a healer, because, you know, obviously, as a Paladin, you're a battle healer. You're going to throw Judgment at an enemy, you're going to hit Crusader Strike at an enemy, you're going to throw your Hammer at an enemy, you're going to drop your Ash on an enemy. It's like, the extra damage you can get just from the Shadow Core oil alone is a pretty good overall assessment, I would say. Now we're going back into phase 1 poll here. You could see that a couple of people are eating a few of the dagger shots, but I mean, very early into the game here, you could see that everybody is just clicking their buttons on Sylvanas. Even the healers are getting in and on this action. And as you can see, it looks like a Fire Mage is actually taking a good chunk at this opener, following with the Shadow Priest, 2 classes. Not super surprised to see in this overall. Really, it's the Frost Mage you see quite a bit in the overall at Stage 1, but Stage 1 with no ads coming in just yet, and now there's some ads coming in now. You could see that the Boomkin is starting to get quite a bit up there now that there's even 1 ad on the board, but Doomkins can hit real freaking hard if they just manage to land their Starfires within the right time window. And I imagine this is not a Convoke Boomkin. I imagine with the changes in the Venthyr Boomkin status, you see a lot of people running this instead. Looks like another set of arrows being thrown out here. Looks like nobody hit by this second wave. The first wave, however, definitely one that did get hit here. Maybe some in this one as well, because this is one of the more angular and time-consuming ones. Looks like Korra is going to be the next shot here as the target gets launched. Gonna jump away here. He's got 3 seconds left, or he's got 3 stacks on this one for his dot, but looks like the chains are gonna be tossed. Well, good and stacked as well. Looks like they managed to at least have enough people in the middle to get that stack, and now the arrows will be thrown out. Ranger's Hearts will get sent. Looks like they just have 1 dead, actually. Looks like Senel actually died very early here, or did he? No, he was just very low health off in the distance. Looks like from a dagger. He might have melded it. No, you can't meld on Horde. I don't think they have a meld. Not entirely certain. Looks like another set of daggers are going to be thrown out here by the random 4 targets. Going to get hit by the dot, so they will have to follow up heal from that one. Oh, that's not beacon. Yeah, that's the opposed heal dot there. So it looks like some more daggers going to be tossed out there. It looks like Orisha playing a little bit slow with fire there, but able to hit his defensives and work that off perfectly fine. Another beautiful stack by the ranged over on for phase 1, and you could already see that Sylvanas is sitting at 85%. This phase 2 right around the corner. Ooh, Vomak taking a bit of damage, actually. You could see it, actually, in this one, that he ended up soaking a direct shot from one of the drops from Sylvanas. It does leave him at 2 stacks, but again, Paladins can go ahead and bop themselves off and take it off at any point in time. Wailing Arrow. Awkward angle to run the Wailing Arrow through, but of course that was the closest angle they could really get. There was no speed really to help them get the follow-up here, so they will go ahead and throw out a Ring of Frost to try to delay this overall push. And now you're seeing the Demon... I keep on looking at these Demon Hunters for the top damage. This has to be when Demon Hunter, or when the AoE cap was removed, because Demon Hunter is just pumping right now. Looks like the rally was thrown out there. Once again, Yamak is just going to eat another shot here, but he will go ahead and get a chain breaker here. But it looks like he's actually part of the FAR group here. Oh, wait, right. We're on the full group here. It looks like this is the wipe. Yeah. They lost somebody to a domination pop, and that ended up getting everybody. It happens. It happens. That was a domination pop that ended up getting a kill there, so... You know how it is. You do the first mechanic and you do stage 1 so many times, you come around to stage 2 and you're like, well, shoot. What am I gonna do? Well, shoot. I think my internet died. Sorry about that.
But we were on our arrows for quite some seconds already.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
It's been extremely weird the last couple of days, my my network, so since this is a technical live replay, I did not download the replay of them doing this prog. It did just drop it for a brief moment. And as for the people watching me do this on stream, I'm back. So now we're into their 3rd poll of the night. I believe this is the second to last one here, so they're on poll 317. I believe, yeah, it looks like 317 or 318. Yeah, this is 317. So the next one, the last one is 318. So overall, it looks like, once again, like the stage 1, this is the hardest thing to commentate when it comes to somebody who's probably never commentated a very boring start to a game before. But if you've ever played a game of Dota, the laning phase is a very slow and very arduous time in the Dota 2 universe, at least. And I could say that doing and watching a phase 1 of a mythic fight after you've seen the phase 1 of a mythic fight so many times, same thing with Denathrius, like, there's a lot of filler content you need them throwing in here, and usually this is where you have a little bit of your playful banter, or you look at a different team and doing what stats they're doing, or fighting out their pulse circle or pull angles, or anything else on that whole entire damage line here. Oh, pardon. But usually you could throw in some good overliner stuff here, maybe toss in a couple of extra stats, maybe look at, like, what Team A and Team B is doing. I mean, you could already see that Yomaka is sitting at 3 stacks here, so he is going to go ahead and break a chain. He is going to Freedom, but unfortunately, Freedom doesn't actually do anything. I found that out myself doing the Mythic Prog for our first night of Sylvanas. Freedom does not do anything, and it really should. It should at least give you Freedom, but it does not. Looks like a Fixate is out on Yomaka as well, so he's not going to be able to try to help out here, but he's not really going to be able to do that in the first place. He doesn't have Ashe, and he is not exactly the offensive paladin you want to be running here against a Chasing Spirit. Looks like they are actually running a Damn Paladin. Is that what's happening here? They are running a Damn Paladin. He's not really keeping up to this Warlock, which is quite interesting, but that's the downside of being a Paladin in Phase 1, is that stuff is still quite spread up, so it's very hard for you to keep a good amount of damage on it, even with the AoE cap removal, and not to mention, like most people, even if you are going to be running a DPS Paladin into this draft, like, you don't really want to be running the AoE talent on your Paladin. You kind of want to be sitting in between the lines, having a, like, it's hard because you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, Divine Storm is great and Divine Storm Echo is great because that's the go-to AoE talent. But the other situation still stands that, like, I myself, I prefer to use Final Reckoning because it's great single target damage, and this is technically still a single target damage fight. This could actually just be another H-Pal, I'm not entirely sure, because there are 2 H-Pals in this game. Or at least there's 2 H-Pals being registered on the heels, and there's only 2 H-Pals in the game. Oh, I see. There's an open pocket in the middle here that I didn't really quite catch. Still using a defensive there. It looks like there was another aura being popped. Jumping away here. The Domination Chains with 2 stacks. They're going to go into Phase 2 now, or technically Phase 1.5, as they will go ahead and try to delete the stack, standing in Consecration for damage reduction. And looks like they will drop the Freedom at the last second. Once again, Freedom not really doing anything in general here. Nobody dying to Rive. Varus getting very low here with overall HP. Another Rive being thrown out here. Very weird spot to be in Rives as well. You don't want to be in that barrel shot spot in case of just getting literally stabbed in the face.
Classic?
It's a classic.
The funny thing is, I've had it bot muted since day 1. I have no idea what kind of classics you guys are listening to. But
We're listening to Stage 112. I am a fucking legend.
He's a fucking legend.
Ooh, hot one.
That's a book.
It's definitely a very hard one to dodge there.
a classic.
That is a classic.
P3 went, bro. It takes a fucking year, man. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, he's not wrong. It does take a very long time to get to Phase 3. I've seen some guilds usually waiting out sometimes this 20-second marker just so they can have a little bit of discussion time. Like 20 seconds, though, is a long additional pull timer that nobody really wants to do. Because you're looking at it, right, like, if you're doing Race to the World first, that 20-second timer is a big difference. And if you pulled it in Heroic and you pulled it in Normal, you could skip it anyway. You could also see, if you got a quick glimpse of there was the achievement that is involved on this, involved in this expansion, this raid. There was a little Venthyr symbol in the bottom right corner, bottom left actually, bottom right now, bottom left corner of the map there. Now, you do want to keep in mind, actually, this Banshee's Wail does go across, meaning it will actually have 2 instances being cast on both sides. So they do need to be careful about that one overall.
I need a sec if you have one.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, they are running double Chamois, double H-Pal by the looks of it. It's not exactly a bad setup. You get double Devo at every time you want it, and then you also just have double totems. You have 2 heroes in case for some reason somebody dies. You could back up hero, but you also have a mage, which is doing pretty well here. Going back to our damage lineup, actually, this is where, just about where we saw our Boomkin having quite a bit high up on the marker here, but you can see that it's 2 Demon Hunters and a Monk. And, you know, I always tell people that there's this big meme behind monks that people just aren't really quite getting. And what is this meme exactly? Well, for some reason, people think that monks just do no damage. And by people, I mean there's somebody in my guild who thinks that monks do no damage. He knows exactly who he is. Monks do quite a bit of damage, and it's very much shown in this. Like, he outdamages quite a few people in this scenario. And Ellie Shaman, he's keeping up with. He's managing to try to keep up with Turkey Shoot here as well, so he's doing a pretty good job having an overall damage output into this game.
3 seconds.
Not to mention there's a lot of extra utility like ring you can get out from your paladins. Or from your paladins. You can get rings out from your... Ooh. That is a very hard wave to dodge there, but looks like they're doing pretty good here. Looks like Varys and Denier are going to be perfectly fine. Soul Judge being tossed out. Looks like the Goliath is on the left side this time around. Very hard dodge here. Ooh. No one's going to get hit by the heal bomb, though. Actually, it looks like Crete was, but he was on the other side, so they are going to have to split it up, which is not going to be preferable. You're coming into phase... You don't want to be coming into phase 3 with, like, with loose damage and loose mana. The Soul Judge is staying alive for quite a bit. They do manage to get him, though. Alright, the second set of Ruin is going to be out here. Looks like the second bridge gets thrown out as well. The Shroud removed, so now they can go ahead and damage Sylvanas once again.
Reminder if you haven't used yet.
Is at 80%. We're going to get the wave now for wave number 7. This one's a very easy one for melee to dodge most of the time, but it looks like they are going to have... Oh my goodness, is that 3 stacks out on the tank? Oh, okay, that was 4 different debuffs on the tank. Looks like... Oh my goodness. Charmy should have just died there. Charmy should have just straight up walked off. That was 15 stacks of the heal debuff. That is not something you want to see. That was so much damage, actually. That was insane. Because it's not direct damage, it's heal debuff. It can't be dispelled by Ancestral, so he's actually just straight up dying there. He's trying to keep everybody alive. The Shroud is removed once again. Stage 3 soon, and here's all the ads that spawn in.
Okay, nice.
But it looks like everybody is still alive, but the problem is that they're so low mana at the moment. We can't actually see the mana bar, though. You also can't see the player because I blocked it with my beautiful camera, which I eventually am going to replace because this camera is very old.
I don't know.
So they are coming into this one. Looks like the Demon Hunters are jumping around, and by Demon Hunters, I mean just the one is going to go ahead and grab all of the extra soaks. Looks like the spread is going to be thrown out as well. Ooh, very hard angle as well, but still managed to get the full 6. No double stacks as well. That's very good. Like, you can see the spacing between these players is very consistent. They don't ever have to really worry about having people just too far apart. Obviously, the only downside is that the chunky damage that drops consistently from Sylvanas. Like, Sylvanas, when you taunt off, has a huge taunt off damage circle. It hurts. Much like Kel'Thuzad does the same thing. The Wailing Arrows are going to get thrown out as well. The damage being spread up. Alright, the daggers are being tossed as well. This is another Mythic Edition mechanic, is that the daggers that usually get thrown out at all angles are then thrown at players, and they bounce off of players based off of angular direction. So that is something that a lot of players coming into the Mythic will have to realize soon, and need to sort of bring that to fruition here. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and drop an Ash here, which is a very good Ash. This is actually dropped by Vamok. He's going to end up trying to keep everybody alive as the Ash will heal through this heal burn very, very quickly. And now you can see 20 seconds left on this hero. 69%, 68%, pushing very well. The Dispel's going to drop. Nobody's in the corner, and we're good to go. This is a very clean platform as well. You see Korra now grabbing more stacks off in the distance. And by off in the distance, it looks like it's actually just right here as he picks up even more. And now lines up to get off to the angle in the corner. Sitting and waiting on the Dispel. The knives are going to be tossed out here. It's a very hard stack if you're in melee. You could see that in triple spot in the middle there. Wailing Arrow is going to get tossed out. They're doing a pretty good job of maintaining their heals, but it looks like Ver is getting very low as well, hitting with the Ancestral. He's going to be able to keep himself alive. Cheat as well, hitting himself with the... I don't even know what Warlock's defensives are. They are going to go ahead and hit with another 3 set for the heal prevention. No Ash to help him this time, but there are 2 Shaman Rains going down here. Not going to be just as effective as you would anticipate, but with the beautiful Dispel timing, as well as the follow-up totem, they're going to be able to keep this alive coming into the 3rd pillar. Now they're sitting at 63%. A big bomb is going to go through here. It's actually going to do quite a bit of damage, but with the AMZ as well as another set of rain, they will be able to keep themselves alive and healthy. Dagger's going to be tossed here. It's a very good angle, actually. There's only about 4 people really getting hit by this one. And he sitting at 7 stacks. The Dispel is prepped. The Devo is popped as well, so they're holding it over for the time being. The Devo keeping him alive. The Soaks, though. Ooh, they got everybody in the Soaks just in time. The Wailing Arrows are going to be tossed. Ooh, this is a hard Wailing Arrow to end up getting a dodge out. There's a lot of extra particles just being thrown out on this map here. They get them out just in time. They do. I need those sitting at 17 stacks. They don't know what pillar he's on. He's just burning away from these stacks here. Okay, they know what pillar he's on. Where is he, actually? He's sitting at 21 stacks. He's in the far right corner. That fills the whole platform. Ooh, daddy-o. That's a big pile of soup. They do have everybody dispelled, though. They're going to go ahead and put the beacon on Cure, and they're going to keep on this push, sitting at 58%, doing very good here, and they're trying their best. The Daggers, oh, this is a really tough angle for Daggers. You see the bubble is going to get used immediately, but again, he's going to be out here on the edge. He's going to end up eating up some of the soak here with this bubble. No, he gets out just in time. He gets out just in time with no bubble soak whatsoever, but they are going to recollect the soaks up here as they get to the corners. Oh, but you see Samad sitting at 7 stacks as well. He's serving as the backup soak machine here. They are going to get the double stack out there. And actually, where is this 3rd one? Doesn't really matter, though. They're going to split up the heals pretty nicely here, and they're going to find the Dispel immediately onto Korra. Beautiful timing, but there was one that got soaked up immediately upon entry. They need to watch for Ari. They need to prep his Dispel. The Wailing Arrow is going to be tossed. This is what happens when you're on your 4th platform. You throw the arrows off on the side, or you just jump off the side. That's literally what your play is. Darkness is going to be dedicated for arrow number 3 and arrow number 2. And it looks like they are going to be able to keep this moving here. 55.2%. It's a very good pull. They're very close here. Everyone's alive, but these Daggers, you're losing one. You've dropped one. You dropped the Sensual on Twas. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive is the question. Chorus keeping himself alive too as much as possible. There's no Darknesses available, no nothing. They've used them all already. All defensives not available. The Silence is going to be there. 54%. They're trying their best here. This is a really bad pool spawn, actually. They're all over the place. There's no real easy way. Dodger picks up one, catches as well, but they will drop another heal soak. There's no Ash available. They dropped the hero for the last time. There is an Ash available in 7 seconds, but everybody has a heal soak on them, as well as the Banshee's weapon. They're sitting on these 7 stacks. Korra, oh my goodness. Just HP literally just goes from 1 to almost 0 there. Picked up just in time. Probably was hit with a lay on hands, actually. Looks like he was hit with a blessing of protection, which kept him alive here, but the arrows are going to get out. These are the damaging arrows here. You can see the stacks. They're jumping out with the gate, actually. They're doing the gate stack mechanic with the knives follow-up, but the knives, ooh, Jesus, the knives actually done quite a bit of damage there. Varys will fall. They're sitting on 1 healer remaining, as Sphinx is the one to fall as well, and Korra can't be kept alive for too much longer. They find the Dispel, but Twist ended up picking up one as well. Dude, it takes huge chunks of damage out of him, but they're trying their best here. 47%. They're on the cliff, but they have 1 heal. They have 2. They have 3 healers. They have they have 2 healers up. They have 2 healers up. Soak is trying his best here, but no immunities are available, and everyone will burn away. So close too. 46%.
I got this.
I think the reason, like the big reason behind this, like we can go back to phase 2 and look at some stuff like this is where action replay. We go back into phase 2 and we see all the damage that was completely unnecessary that they took in phase 2. And we can easily turn that around and say, okay, if we take 6% less damage in phase 2, we don't really hit all these soaks in phase 1. Oh, I see. We see his background. I like that. That's kind of funny. Because I have a green screen, he does not. I think in phase 2, if they just took a little bit less damage and they had more heal cooldowns available, like we saw that there were some heal cooldowns that were being used. kind of
Got this.
offensively in the factor
Yo, sorry,
that
I'm
in
back.
phase 2 there was just too much being used. So I think if they reduce that and they have one more battle res in phase 3,
So much shit.
that will carry them
Not
over.
really. I don't see any lines. I don't know.
How many people got hit? Was
you
it
can
like
just-
10 people or like more even?
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about right now
Way
too.
back in the corner, like literal on the edge of the corner, and people just move out with the knives. You have a very safe spot.
Yeah. He didn't move out.
The big thing I also wanted to point out was like when Shame hit
So- wait, what was that,
16 heal
2%?
stacks in the
1.6%.
in phase
Fuck
2.
you, man.
That was kind of the big scary one there because 16 heal stack is scary. Like that is not really something you want to be like eating come that time of the. Actually, I know for a fact this was relatively recent because there's the World of Warcraft 17th anniversary corner up in the or 17th anniversary ding up in the corner there.
Nah, it's fine,
kill
it's
it
fine.
now.
We kill.
Why don't you execute, Vincenzo?
Why don't you?
So you can also see all of these defensives and offensives on the top of his bar here, which currently you could just see on the top of me, that I really haven't been super paying attention to, but you could see when Devos get popped down, you could see when Ashens get thrown down, you could see when the totems get thrown down, you could also see when anyone pops wings.
Vincenzo doesn't spread his ass. cheeks
Where's the
like he did
Devos? There's the Devos. I guess it's Aura Mastery, so
What, do you
it's either
like,
going to be Devo or it's going to be
Like, do you like,
Consecration.
Target spray.
Concentration, but it looks like they're just running double Devo here, because he's also running Titan Ocular Gland as his haste. That's a good haste makeup as well. See, like in phase 1, like it's perfectly fine to kind of be like, you don't want to be, obviously, you don't want to be soaking all these extra damage shots that come out from Sylvanas at the very beginning. Like anything that's dodgeable, you could dodge. You could probably dodge.
Fucking hell again. Fucking arrows off me.
But like in phase 2, like phase 2 has to be played perfectly for phase 3 to be executed in the follow-up.
Fucking weak aura.
We'll forget.
So it looks like this is another very clean phase 1. They're getting a lot of daggers killed off here. Looks like the Fire Mage is doing pretty well on the damage yet again. We saw that in the last pull. The Fire Mage was up there with the Boomkin. This is another same scenario where both the Fire Mage and the Boomkin are up at the top. The Demon Hunters slowly catching up. I say slowly, I mean, you can see Senna sitting at 14.5k. Like, that is quite a bit of damage for a Demon Hunter very early. Looks like they're running Glaive Tempest as well, so looks like my build that people told me was bad is not bad. However, I am also running the Backstab Dagger, so that might be the other big thing, is I'm not really keeping my uptime on my Backstab,
Guess what?
Don't bait by accident, guys. Don't bait by
on that bleed.
Again.
Well, it looks like they have an overall good first phase, 89%. No significant chunks of damage here. You see the first Ash was already dedicated very early, which means the second Ash is going to be dedicated, I believe, into the opener of phase 2.
Standing in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, I see, that's Riptide. Yeah, it's Riptide Totem.
We'll forget.
Riptide Totem. Looks like another Devo is going to be thrown out here as well for this very early. It's not terribly surprising to see a Devo being dedicated here because of you're looking at all this damage that follows suit. I really like this this add-on now that I'm looking at it instead of just like guessing who's popping what cooldowns. I mean, you could already see that the looks like the Windrush Totem was already dedicated for looks like Denier. Finsker's going to pop his wings, and it looks like the Shadow Touch as well is going to be popped by McGizzle. Or Disperse, pardon, is going to be popped by McGizzle. Checking for that freedom again, though. It doesn't do anything. He is going to get his proc wings here. Everybody loves those proc wings. Looks like Fortskar is going to get his wings being taken down here. 140s now. And Devo now active on the opposing Paladin as well to keep everybody alive. So very good on that one. And now the Ash now finishing off. They will have the second Ash available coming into this next phase as he's already at 84%. Yeah, there's that clean spot. It's much more visible in this one. Looks like he is going to end up getting focused here, but he is immune to the overall focus damage.
Future defensive.
And here we are. We can look at the damage again. So Domination Change will be cast. This is the phase 9 or phase 1.9, phase 9.9. Yeah, like we're ever going to get a 9.9 patch. We'll get a 9.2, but I don't know about a 9.3, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be something that's very hopeful. Very hopeful. Looks like nobody dying in this one, though. They're having a little bit of a chuckle as somebody might have been relatively close to getting destroyed by a Rive.
It's fine, it's fine. One guy, that's not a big deal.
But they're doing a pretty good job. The only downside with running like a Demonology Warlock in this, which by the looks of it, none of these Warlocks are. It looks like this is an Affliction Warlock.
You are making.
Is, no, it's actually Destro, because Destro is the one that drops the Golem.
Who, me or?
Yeah. I mean, it's still true. I always have good locks.
Man, all I know.
The only
is that
downside to
I'm
Demo
Danish, dude.
is that
That's all I know.
pets are just so bad here.
Danish. Danish.
They are incredibly bad here. Like Beastmaster Hunters, so bad.
I wish there were more.
So bad. You could see that Elazar is playing Marksman. To be fair, it is better though.
I think it's mainly Dutch though.
If it was Danish guild, we would have killed the 100 bullet.
Too much Dutch people. We're stuck in progressing.
Man,
No, the waves are being tossed out here. It's good dodges overall.
True.
Only a little bit of wave damage here. Looks like 2 is actually going to be eaten by Yomak himself, but they do have an Ash to counteract the fact here. But once again, it's going to be a lot of damage that the Paladin has to look out for against this Goliath. They will be able to disengage in time. No, looks like Dutch actually did get hit on the end there. I did see him actually get hit. Like, I saw the player get hit by it. Yomaka, very low. He himself had 3 stacks, apparently, and the Goliath is going to fall. Very wonderful Ash timing here. I do like this overall burn timer for all the Ash drops. This is actually a very nice one. Second wave going to be thrown out here on the side of the left. Now they're going to go for the cast on the Ruin on the right, and they will go ahead and pop all the cooldowns necessary as the ranged will prime up to their furthest spot available. Looks like he's still running the Holy Shock Shield talent, or the Holy Shock Shield Legendary, which is a very primal one that a lot of people like to run. Devo going to be dedicated here as well, as Yamako is going to pop it off. Very good timing as well. 6 seconds left out on Yamanskars as well, so we'll be able to see a double Devo if we really need it coming into this next phase. There is another Ash in 30 seconds as well. They're sitting at 80%. I imagine they saved the Ash for the second push. Alright, they're prepping the gates away as Team 1 is getting ready. The Shroud at 82.2 or 80.2%.
Oh, 1.2 left.
Is going to detonate. Looks like it's stacked a little bit too heavy here as Frinsk actually is dead. I believe he ended up taking a soak, or he fell. He did not fall because he wouldn't have been resable. So he ended up taking a double soak then. And just ate some damage there. He will still have his Ash available. Looks like they don't want to focus the Summoner immediately. They kind of push this Hopebreaker first, and then they go for the, Soul Judge. No, the Hopebreaker was just cleaved down. That's an AoE ad. They do a really good job actually keeping up the AoE overall. Like 14% on the Summoner goes down, the Soul Judge sitting at 30%. Like, the cleave is actually extremely strong in this game. For this team. They're running double Demon Hunter and they're still running only 1 Boomkin. Like, this kind of proves that you could still run away with just doing 1 Boomkin in this fight. But I guess, again, like, the AoE cap removal probably changed a lot of things. Looks like the Ash was dedicated for that secondary push out onto the left side for the side of Furskin. So he is going to end up getting the push there. You see a lot of healing being thrown down for this phase and explicitly due to the fact that everybody gets hit by a wave of daggers, and then the 7th wave goes through, the 4th overall, the 3rd for this side gets thrown out here. They will drop another Veil and most likely daggers to follow from what I remember. It will toss 2 more ranger shots. There's the secondary set of daggers. Another secondary set of healing cooldowns being used here, most of which just being personals, as well as the, as I like to call it, the Fey Vacuum from your Shaman players here. Good overall heals as well. They did end up throwing out the... You know, I called the spell the first time, but I completely forgot it.
Only by like 0.2.
0.2 lower? Yeah, that's
What is he healing over here? Oh, we're going into phase 3. That's what's happening, yeah.
My guy rolled instead of globaling the boss once. Sheesh.
Priest ranged.
So here we are now into phase 3. The soup is spawning, more or less. And they're coming into this with one less B-res than their last pull. But however, they're... Ooh, that was a tough stack there. I believe that was actually hit with a double down.
I know what stacks. I know what stacks. He needs
Aiden getting really low. He said it got 13 stacks as well.
And watch the pulse, watch the
He's
pulse.
trying to keep himself alive. They find the Dispel. Yeah, Aiden did have a set of stacks, I figured. Everyone's pretty low here from the heal bomb, though, but they do manage to keep them up just in time. Yamako does have his Ash available and will likely dedicate it coming into this next pull. Yep. No, he's casting Holy Light.
Keck, second arrow. Keck, second arrow.
He might be keeping it for the push.
Raise up third. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, looks like he's keeping it for the push here. He's keeping up everybody pretty well, though. He doesn't really need to have it as the backup heal. Maybe after this next Veil instance, he might throw it down here. Yeah, so he could be prepping it right now, I imagine. He will pop the Devo and hit Crete with a Prot of his own here, and there's the Ash. He will now throw down his Ash. It's very good timing for it as well, as here comes the second set of Veils, which will follow with the heal cooldown, and the Meteors will follow as well. Gonna be soaked up and easily healed off. Sitting at 69% as well. They're doing their best to keep their lines up and running here. Core sitting at 7 stacks, primed up in the corner, ready for the Dispel. Will drop it, jumps back in, and he's good to go. It's very interesting actually to see a Blood DK being ran here instead, but I guess for the ad collection, you would end up running... It might actually be a Venthyr, though. No, you don't want to run Venthyr Blood DK. You still kind of want to run Grabby Hands. Grabby Hands is kind of a game-changing spell here.
And big show, big
I mean, I could say, like, he's doing a really good job with his mana management here, but Baron and Twast, like, very low HP overall throughout almost all of these fights. Like, I don't think I've really seen them one time without having, like, very low HP. There goes my internet again. I'm gonna go through and edit every time that it does disconnect, so you guys don't actually have to see it disconnecting for no particular reason whatsoever.
And big show, big show, big show, big show. Current platform, I know.
So yeah, here's the spot where Varus and Twast were very low HP. They came back in, got the heal up pretty good here. The Veils are going to be dedicated. That is a lot of stacks on Korra. Does that say 10? That says 10 and 13 on a Nid. That is a lot of stacks. Alright, Raze is going to be thrown down. They need to land the double Dispel. They do it perfectly. Oh my goodness, that is actually frame perfect Dispels. 63%. They still have a lot of cooldowns available here. They still have an Ash. They'll have wings in 11, and they'll have Yomako wings in 30. And they do have a Disperse available on McShiz if they really needed here. I think they're going to get this one without question, without hesitation, anything like that. They still have another wall as well. They have a Darkness. Looks like they have... I don't know what cooldown that is. I think that's a Grounding Totem. Or the Soak Totem, I believe. They will go ahead and drop a Devo here, and following that, they will have the Totems, and the second Ash will be dedicated to follow suit for the heal cooldown here. Oh, gosh, that was a lot of extra people in that one there. That is a lot of heal stack. That is going to be quite a bit of a dent in the heals here. You could see that he's trying his best to do the spread. Shit is still sitting at 6 stacks, though. He was sitting on the outside. He needs to get inside now, and now he's going to split up his heal stacks. And they have the Dispel available out onto the Demon Hunter. That is a lot. He zips back in. Since he's playing a Night Fade Demon Hunter. Alrighty, I like it. I like it a lot. You can tell this is an off-brand team just trying to run their main brand team into the graft here. 56%. The soaks are being through. This is actually a very good set because these soaks are just not in a terrible place. Looks like you can't immune them. So I think that's what's been going on here. The bubble being used every time. Looks like he doesn't have bubbles being set on his on this fancy little bar here. Looks like center is going to be the backup pickup here, sitting at 7 stacks. The Veil is going to be dedicated out. They will get a... Korra is down. This is spicy. They do not have a Brez. No, they do. They 100% have a res. Right? They do. Yeah, they got him up. So they got the tank up and ready for this one. First arrow goes out. They'll have Korra wait for this one. They're going to rebuff as much as possible. You could see him do it immediately. That's what I wish my guild would do. Big burst coming in from that arrow, though. They are going to be able to drop another totem. Will they be able to hold it this one? They do keep it up. Senna's the only one that falls. They're pushing for their heart's content as they are keeping up the heals as much as humanly possible. Dagger's going to be thrown out here. Good overall dodge. Twas sitting very low here. Senna's still dead as well. They're not going to pop a rest for this one, Swamp. He's the next one that could possibly fall here. He's getting very low, but Korra sitting on 3 stacks at the soup. Kira as well, sitting on the outside, ready for the dispel. Are they going to be able to hold is the question. They will throw out a 4th set of pools. It is going to be picked up ever so slowly as they have Korra running on the stacks. They have Kira. He ended up dropping his as well. Looks like the healing is going to be thrown out there. Oshara and Ichi are going to just spread it up here at 52%. They're doing pretty good here. The heal deal is there. They do have an Ashe available. This might be the time to use it as they are on the 4th platform. Or are they? Yep, there's the Ashe. They do get the full angle in this one as well. 49%. They're fighting the push on this one. The Wailing Arrow is going to be dedicated with the first set of defensives. Darkness not going to be thrown down immediately. AMZ, anything like that. There's nothing available, at least not on the bars. The first Darkness is going to go down. 7 seconds left on the Darkness. They're trying to keep the push up as much as possible. 47%. They're getting very close here. Defensives still available. They do end up getting extended at the last second because he's the one with the Darkness available. Do they have that AMZ? They got nothing here. They got drop another totem. They put down the healing rain. They're trying their best to keep this one alive. 2.5 seconds left, and with 46%, Dutch is gonna fall. Bakura, he's still keeping up the tank life here. 45%. Raze is gonna go through. He's gonna go, and everyone needs to pop their immunes right now. If there's any literal immunes available right now, burning away ever so slowly. 45%. She's gonna go down. 49%. 42. 46. They got it.
And it failed.
Oh my god.
Let's fucking go, guys.
Almost fucked my spell tune.
Cutting edge has been achieved. There's that screenshot everybody likes to do right at the end, and most likely we're going to see the team do their big wide pose. So congratulations to, let's see, what funny team name we're going to make up here. Big Nuts McGee for getting 3rd place in the Race to the World first, as well as one of the few holders of Vengeance's own reigns, being the...
Wait, by the way. Wait.
Yeah, same. What?
Shit, no.
Why 2 mounts?
Forest
Mount as well.
You know what I said? This is the only mountain that matters.
Why is it all the new people who gets the mounts?
So congratulations to Big Nuts McGee's for getting 3rd place in the Race of World first. It was a very hard time for them overall as they were sitting at pull 318.
No, dude, our pull count wasn't even bad, by the way. There's people with like 300 pulls. We did fine. Like, we did okay.
Oh, they didn't do 318. What was their pull time?
For my feeling, it's too many for us.
I mean, maybe in pools not that much, but
Like,
in weeks we took really long because all the
Like,
day rating weeks.
Good fucking shit, guys.
214.
I'm pretty sure.
So after 214 pulls, they finally get the claim Sylvanas' mythic mount, of which is going to be on the one and only Paladins. Paladins are very deserving of the mounts, trust me. There's only so few of us left in the world. And that, ladies and gentlemen, though, is a 53-minute video. We will edit down the very beginning so you don't hear my countdown, and we will also edit down the other various parts of the video. So hopefully you all enjoyed the 53-minute commentation of me doing the mythic prog of a team pushing for their kill on Lady Sylvanas. This is a horde guild as well, even though this guy is currently a gnome. He has a gnome thing on the moment, so... Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry again for the light internet issues. Obviously, you won't actually see them because I will edit them out. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you thoroughly enjoy. This is Party PD, signing off.